Fun Fact Friday. So check this out. Imagine learning how to sell fucking 10, 15, 20 years ago. And imagine how it must have been for these sales representatives to actually have to hand dial, to actually have to cold call, to read through 50, 60, 100 pages of title leads and hand dial, get disconnected numbers, call 411 to see if they're listed. Imagine doing business with no internet, no social media, no email, no text. You want to smack a reality? Go watch Glenn Ross and realize how much sales and marketing has just fucking evolved. And it's great because today it's far easier to capture the attention of the crowd that buys your product, that buys your services. And so I'm going to kind of put this in layman's terms, where if you had an opportunity to sell anything, like if you're in sales right now, you have a product and you have a service that you sell, and your livelihood is determined on how many would sell. And so the game of the day, of every day, is origination or prospecting. Prospecting is simply a game of finding out how many people will buy the service or product you sell. And so how it applies to social media and how it applies to technology today are like, for the use of a hashtag, for example. If you went on Twitter and Instagram, or fucking anywhere, just go into Google bar and hashtag search, let's say spinners, or hashtag search, let's say, sales training. And you'd be able to pull up any blurb or any recent content that is associated with that crowd. And so, for example, if I had to, in my industry, I sell financial services. And so if I were specializing in a product, like let's say, I don't know, reverse loans or consumer loans, maybe a consumer direct debt consolidation loan, I wouldn't market a consolidation loan. I wouldn't market a loan, period, because there's lots of licensing involved and compliance is an issue. But what I would do is consider creating just a consumer awareness profile. And so we'll call it, Human Remastered. And what it does is it tells you information that the normal crowd within society, like your auntie, your uncle, or anyone who doesn't work in the industry that you work in, would know about. Like interesting facts about my industry, I happen to know about credit scores. I happen to know the impact of debt consolidation financially. I happen to know the possibility of paying a house off sooner is actually a mathematical formula that if someone only understood, they would actually free up cash flow so they're not living check to check. So this is insight. And I'm fortunate because I can apply the outcome of my product to the consumers. Whereas even though I have to be licensed to do my job, the only time that compliance really becomes an issue is if you're actually selling like a licensed loan or a product that you have to be licensed to do or sell. And so I'm not doing that in this particular example. What I would do is maybe create a Human Remastered page that has to do with FICO improvement or property profile improvement, or what maybe fun facts of what improvements you can do to the house to increase the likelihood of increasing your property value. Maybe send a blurb or create like a blog of maybe information that homeowners need to know. And then you can itemize and create playlists or sub-files for county-specific properties. Or like, let's say, manufactured homes. You can't necessarily market to manufactured homes like, hey, come refi with me, unless you plan to paint every single post and advertisement with your license number. So that's where the web becomes a little bit tangled. But I guess where I'm getting at, I'm veering off, I'm just going down the rabbit hole with this, is that the opportunity right now, thanks to the internet, thanks to social media, thanks to the new generation of consumer spending, it's changed way much. People are buying everything online now because their attention is online. They were actually rooted to that online source because of social media. and because of the following and the likes and the reputation, or at least the appearance of the if you have 1 million likes, more likely you're going to buy from them, because it's human nature to follow, to follow where everyone else is going. If everyone started running in one direction, the likelihood of you also running in that direction, even though you don't know what's going on, is a good example. So, I wanted to address that, because if you look back to how, and I can actually vouch for it, because I was in that seat when I was 16 years old 20 years ago. I was a telemarketer, and we had to hand dial. We didn't have a dialer system, and these were genuine hand dials. You sat at a desk, no computer screen, no internet, and you called a list of names and phone numbers from a legal size sheet, and you either highlighted if you left a message or still worked, or you cross them out if they said no. Anyone that obviously bought from you, you'd put it on the board, the whiteboard, and that's how you gauge your day, is whose name's on the whiteboard. Still to this day, everything's just evolved and changed. So now you got 3 screens in front of you, and now you have email blasts. Instead of the whiteboard, you have an Excel spreadsheet on an email that just circulates your team, or maybe you have a KPI report or something on your CRM. And so now everything's fused, right? So because it's fused, we as humans have adapted. And I think that as sales, we also have to adapt and figure out where the attention is going. The attention is going to their mobile device. So the faster that you figure out a way to get your product or service in front of them, whether you do it covertly and then say, hey, I got some real great information that will help you, regardless if you decide to buy from me, the information is still going to give you value. And I think that's necessary, because there are clients and there are prospects that their guard is so strong that they'll actually end up turning down the genuine help that is legitimate. And it's mainly predicated because of their mindset, or at least the consumer way of being hardwired to just look for the bottom line number. The bottom line number, for anyone who's been in sales, understands that this doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to get the best service. And I think that's what consumers deserve today, with everything being on demand, from your Starbucks coffee to an Uber ride to DoorDash. Consumers, we've evolved in a society where we should be able to leverage these technological advances to our benefit, and this is one way to do it. You're learning how to strategize with Sales Remastered. And it's all thankful to whatever social platform you found this on, whether it was Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, or even the website, SalesRemastered.com. However you found it, Now you have a choice. You can choose to follow, like, and share, or you can choose to keep it moving and look for other alternatives out there. But keep in mind that there are plenty of options. It just really depends if that advice is outdated, if that advice even fits your niche, if that advice even is applicable, let alone affordable. A lot of these sales gurus have only been doing it for 5 years, or they haven't sold anything for 5 years, if that makes sense. So they're either too new to the game, or they're out to just charge you a substantial amount of money to learn some shit you can get for free right here at Sales Remastered, because I got you. And so thanks for taking the time and hearing me rant. Hopefully this information helps. Please like, share, and subscribe. Have a good one.